So basically, y'all got the question, and I got the question too: if YFN Lucci snitched or not. His lawyer said that he got the first offenders act, and that's why they were able to go light on him. Also, with him also pleading out guilty. Now the question then becomes, what did he plead out guilty to? Well, fortunately for y'all, I just got these papers fresh off the press, and I'm gonna go ahead and play exactly what the lawyer said, and then we'll get into the court documents. Once again, I told y'all just to wait. I'm not calling that man a snitch, and basically, from what I gathered, well, you know what? Listen to the lawyer first, and then we'll get to it.
Yeah, we asked for the first amendment, and given, unfortunately, in this case, as you know, there's been so many other pleas, and the momentum of no first offender had already taken effect, and that just impacted us. But I think that Gabe brings up a really important point, and that is you won't be able to find a file if you go to the clerk's office and see more motions that have been filed, more briefs that have been filed. I mean, right through the 3 weeks of jury selection, up until this morning, we were still filing briefs. There was a brief file probably 5 o'clock this morning. Gabe's right. This has been a brawl, literally a legal brawl for 3 years that we've been fighting through, believing in this case and believing that he had no responsibility for the death of December 10, 2020. We were never going to concede to that because nothing was his fault. And secondly, the important issue that you've asked about, under no set of circumstances, ever going to be a witness in any case. YSL, a stop sign violation, nothing. You're not going to see Ray Sean Bennett be a witness in any case.
So if we see his name on the witness list, let you know, right?
Well, that's all garbage because
the thug's name is on our list.
Exactly.
Every defendant's name that is charged in the YSL charge, it's on our witness list, and so to the extent that Lucci's name appears on the witness list, that's just form fashion. It's not going to happen.
Well, and in both cases.
We could go ahead and get rid of all the speculations and stuff like this. Final disposition, felony with probation. Y'all see state of Georgia, Ray Sean Bennett, criminal action, January through February, term of 2024. Non-negotiated right here. Conspiracy to violate the Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organizations Act right here. Nolle prosequi. Nolle prosequi means that your arrest records will not be erased until 13 months have passed without you running afoul of the law. Right here. And then again, once again, violation of street gang terrorism, nolle prosequi right here. Here's where he did plead guilty to. Violation of Street Gang Terrorism and Prevention Act. That's where he said guilty. 20 years, served 10 years, balance of 10 years, probated. All right, boom. The violation of street gang terrorism, nolle prosequi right here. Violation of Street Gang Terrorism and Prevention Act right here. Nolle prosequi right there. Violation of Street Gang Terrorism and Prevention Act. Nolle prosequi right here. So here we go right here. Felony murder, nolle prosequi. Aggravated assault, 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 nolle prosequi. Possession of firearm during commission of a felony, nolle prosequi. The defendant is adjudged guilty or sentenced under first offender conditional discharge for the above stated offenses. The court sentences the defendant to confinement in such institution as the commissioner of the State Department of Corrections may direct, with the period of confinement to be computed as provided by law. Sentence summary. The defendant is sentenced to a total of 20 years, with the first 10 years to be served in confinement and the remainder to be served on probation or to be served on probation. The defendant is to receive credit for time served in custody, and they have an X right here, as determined by the custodian. The above sentence may be served on probation, provided the defendant shall comply with the conditions of probation imposed by the court as part of this sentence. Upon service of 10 years, the remainder of the sentence may be served on probation, provided that the defendant shall comply with the conditions of probation imposed by the court as part of this sentence. The court sentences the defendant as a recidivist under OCGA, and none of that is checked off. So general conditions of probation: defendant is subject to arrest for any violation of probation. If probation is revoked, the court may order incarceration. The defendant shall comply with the following general conditions of probation. 1. Do not violate the criminal laws of any governmental unit and be of general good behavior. Avoid injurious and vicious habits. 3. Avoid persons or places disreputable or harmful character. Report to the community supervision officer as directed, and permit the community supervision officer to visit you at home or elsewhere. 5. Work faithfully at suitable employment insofar as many as possible. Do not change your place of abode. Move outside of the jurisdiction of the court or leave Georgia without permission of the community supervisor officer. If permitted to move or travel to another state, you agree to waive extradition from any jurisdiction where you may be found and not contest any effort by any jurisdiction to return you to the state. 7. Support your legal dependents to the best of your ability. 8. When directed in discretion of the community supervisor officer, submit to evaluations and testing relating to rehabilitation and participate in and successfully complete rehabilitative programming where a device capable of tracking location by means including electronic surveillance or global positioning satellite systems. Complete a residential or non-residential program for substance abuse or mental health treatment, and or agree to the imposition of graduated sanctions as defined by law. Make restitution as ordered by the court. Fines, surcharges, and add-ons. The court assesses all fines, surcharges, and add-ons as required by the law, as required by the laws of the state of Georgia, and as are applicable to offenses for which the defendant has been convicted. Court orders that the defendant shall pay probation supervision fees as required by law, or probation supervision fees waived. If counsel was provided under Georgia Indigent Defense Act, the defendant shall pay the $50 public defender application fee. The public defender application fee is waived. If counsel was provided at public expense, the defendant shall pay attorney's fees to county, or attorney's fees are waived. The defendant shall pay crime lab fees as required by law. Special conditions of probation: the defendant advised, you know what, we don't have to even do all this. Let's just go. It just say he can't mess with Derek Adams, Rondavius Hawkins, Rayvon Boyd, Leroy Pitts, Artez Carter, Malik Stanley, Reginald Carter, DeMonte Thomas, Tydrekus Glass, Justin Ursary, Victor Meadows. Defendant shall possess no guns, firearms, or replicas, which means he can't even hold a fake gun. So let's get to it. The defendant shall have no gang affiliations or conduct associated with gangs on social media. Defendant shall be gainfully employed and can include self-employment. Defendant shall not violate any state, federal laws. Basically, I'm not even going to read all this stuff right here. Well, I think we kind of should, but it is: defendant shall comply with all rules mandated by any facility within Department of Corrections where he is designated to serve this sentence. Defendant waives his right to appeal any and all terms and conditions of this plea agreement. Defendant acknowledges that if he violates the conditions, the state shall write a letter to the Board of Pardons and Paroles stating that the state would not object to the defendant being released from the Department of Corrections the first time he becomes eligible for parole, or serving 1/3 of his prison sentence, which comes first upon compliance with the following. Defendant shall comply with the lawful authority of personnel in any facility in which he is housed. Defendant shall have no further incidents from the date of this plea in any penal institution. The court acknowledges that the defendant has been incarcerated since January 13, 2021. First offender's discharge. We don't have to do all that stuff. For the clerk's use, firearms, convicted, punishable. So basically, yeah, bruh. It's looking like YFN Lucci has passed the test. It just looked like his lawyer worked out a good plea deal and he played out. So as far as I'm concerned, YFN Lucci is not a snitch. So it is what it is. That's why I said everybody should wait. Once again, I just got my hands on this document, and as you can see, court this the 23rd day of January 2024. And that's pretty much it. Subscribe, turn on the bell, stay notified, share to keep your people aware. Seti Nash Reloaded, the hood lawyer. Like I said, man, as I stand here, I don't wish nobody to be a snitch. I'm not calling nobody a snitch. Like I said, just wait. And we just waited for YFN Lucci. So, in my opinion, based off all the facts that are here, YFN Lucci is not a snitch. Pass the test with flying colors. I'll catch you on the next one. Go check out my original video that'll be pinned in the comments. And if you came from the Seti Nash channel, if you can, man, go ahead and hit the subscribe button.